Krzyżowski Art Company. Film, music and art. Believing in abstract. Before watching this video, it's recommended to leave a comment, pushing the subscribe and a like button. Visit us on our social media platforms, to which link you can find in the description. Thank you. Let's set something straight. Black Ops 7 is one of the lowest points of the franchise. A washed up campaign, which is not surreal, it's just lazy and bad in simplicity of gameplay and story. Shows exactly that Activision is solely focused only on getting the profit out of the experience they offer and not delivering the finished product that Call of Duty should be. I am proud of people who woken up to the fact that their beloved game franchise is in a terrible place, because clearly Black Ops 7 is nothing but a disaster and disappointment in my and many players' eyes. And well, I could just trash it all over again and ride on the wave of hatred towards the title, but I did that already in a previous video. If you're interested in my critique of the game, then go and watch that. But here I am about to offer you, players, devs, creators and producers, a groundbreaking solutions that could change the franchise for the better. Here is the video on how to fix Call of Duty once and for all. Are you ready? Let's roll. First, let's identify the biggest problems that modern Call of Duty games have encountered. SBMM, cheaters, workflow, identity crisis, formula that needs to be reassessed, servers, recycled content, predatory monetization. As you can see, there are tons of it. I don't even know where to begin, because clearly Call of Duty is not just one game. It's a franchise that holds up together a solo plot-driven experience, skill-based multiplayer, battle royale, and zombie mode. Be mindful that I don't really have knowledge on how the whole process of a game design looks in Call of Duty Studios. I don't work there. My perception is limited to a player's vision. The idea is to paint a perfect Call of Duty game for the players. Let's start with Activision. I understand the fact that companies are there to make a profit, but in their eyes, like sadly in many other companies, means to an end mean nothing. They've been constantly gaslighting their customers, lying to them, and not delivering on the promises that they made. An example of that is SBMM, which was modified but not removed from the newest installment. That exactly infuriated some of us, me included, as I thought I'll have at least a nice experience in multiplayer mode in Black Ops 7. That sadly didn't happen. Why SBMM is such a problem? Well, clearly we have a situation where players are all against it, and Activision implies that we need it for some reason. The idea was introduced back in Advanced Warfare 10 years ago, apparently, and heavily put into work in Modern Warfare 2019. The problem with SBMM is the fact that it completely isolates the good players from the bad ones to maximize the overall playtime and enjoyment of the game for the newcomers. In the old Call of Duty games, the matchmaking worked much more simpler. It relied on grouping the people who were connected to the same server, let's say London, and it simply paired them up together. That's how the friendships, teams, and even the whole communities of the old era of Call of Duty were born. And that's why it grew so strong. Activision doesn't want to realize that SBMM is simply killing all the fun and enjoyment for the players of modern Call of Duty games, making its community much more diffuse and weaker in the long run. The good players are simply being punished by the system because they need to play against another really good team whenever their KD, kill-death ratio, is higher than expected. Adding the fact that on very top tier of Call of Duty ladder, there are always, granted, pros, but also cheaters. And they're not living the game. Call of Duty is in a very bad state because nothing is done to make a game fair and square. The game is simply fixed, and there is nothing done to make it right. Activision promised a rework of their anti-cheat Ricochet, but considering the fact that they just lied to their fanbase about SBMM, I wouldn't get my hopes up. Call of Duty is being relaunched as a seasonal package each year. In that pace, the idea simply could run out for the game designers. Treyarch did an unbelievable thing. They betrayed their fanbase and baited them on a nostalgia and reminiscence of the golden era of Call of Duty, which was Black Ops 2, offering nothing but a gibberish plot that didn't even stood close to Black Ops series level of writing.
The president? What are you talking about? It's the cradle again.
I was here.
What?
Yeah,
2025.
what is this game talking about?
Indians launched a drone attack on Los Angeles.
People who worked on a campaign mode in Black Ops 7 clearly had no idea how to write a cohesive story that would bend our minds and made us thinking and caring for the characters. This could have been achieved in that setting, making it surreal and interesting to follow. I would love to praise them for trying something different, but this clearly was not really well developed, and laziness just spills out of the screen. An idea like that, to create a psychedelic journey into the mind of David Mason, showcasing the greatest moments of Black Ops series, sounds great on the paper, but you really need talented writers and game designers to pull that off. When you have limited time, and your release is scheduled in the calendar a year after another game that you published and worked on, the results have to be tragic.
Seriously, they used this map for the main campaign.
They used all of it.
That is ridiculous. Absolutely unacceptable as a AAA studio.
Well, if I was 12 years old and I haven't played any Call of Duty campaigns, I would say it's really good.
Yeah.
Therefore, I really think that workflow in the Call of Duty studios have to be changed and new faces have to be introduced. Activision should invest in professional writers and game designers that have fresh ideas for the series, people who also respect the source material but are willing to take risks. And furthermore, give them much more time to work on the games they're releasing. To my understanding, Treyarch had 4 years to create 2 fleshed out Call of Duty experiences, and that clearly didn't pay off because the reputation of the Call of Duty franchise was heavily impacted due to overload of work and lack of experience in certain aspects of the game design. I don't believe the setting that they choose to go with this year is a problem. On the contrary, futuristic Call of Duties such as Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3 are praised and loved by fans. The problem lays solely in the way they presented it. It seems like they don't really know what to do further with the franchise and they are just in a big trouble finding a solid ground for their current identity. Let's remind them of why we all fall in love with Call of Duty in the first place.
What the hell are you doing, Sarge?
I don't know. Sure hope it works.
Hit it! Go, go, go!
You can make it, my friend. You always survive. The honor should be yours. As long as you live, the heart of this army can never be broken. Victory cannot be achieved without sacrifice, Mason. We Russians know this better than anyone. Prepare yourself, men! Mason! Over here! The down is going to rip us to shreds! Have faith!
You were cleared for duty and summoned to the Pentagon.
Jason Hudson was my new handler.
This is it. Why the Pentagon?
Hudson couldn't tell me. He didn't have clearance.
Your convoy's ready, sir. Welcome to the Pentagon.
We're late.
Secretary McNamara?
Your reputation precedes you, sir.
Step on it.
Back then you couldn't trust anyone. Sometimes even yourself.
That's why we're here, Mason. To see if
Finest
we
people
can
in the
trust
world,
you.
right here. 24/7. It never ends.
We were watching you the whole time.
This inner sanctum was built in 1943. We rarely use it.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Good luck, Mason.
Mr. President?
Agent Mason,
Great honor, Mr. President.
sit. We are in grave danger from the communists. Our freedom, our very way of life is at risk. Dragovich.
Si tocas a mi hermana, te lo juro que te mato. ¡Josefina! Este es un monstruo. ¡Animal! ¡La loja de remate! ¡Denle un sedante! ¡Téngalo quieto! ¡Rápido! ¡Josefina! Saved your life. You should be an American hands by now. Call it a favor. ¡Josefina! ¡Estoy aquí, Josefina! ¡Estoy aquí! ¡Menendez!
Menendez's sister Josefina died in the blast? Who threw the grenade?
I had no idea she was there, David. I just saw Menendez and I lost my shit.
Arctic air. Clears the head, doesn't it? Bell, you made two extraordinary sacrifices to stop Perseus. One was without your knowledge. The other, you made that decision of your own accord. I just want you to know that this little thing that's happened with you and me, it was always for the greater good. You're a goddamn hero, you know that, kid? Heroes have to make sacrifices. That's why when I ask you for one more, I hope you understand. It was never personal.
As you can see, Call of Duty simply means Call for Duty, a military call-out to fight in the name of freedom, in the name of justice, sometimes against the common enemy, sometimes against its own government, and if you implement these very elements to the core of the story, and throw a curveball to pinch some other ideas into the whole plot, it just grows and becomes the solid foundation for the game. To create a solid Call of Duty experience, you need to understand what Call of Duty really stands for and what it represents. You need to study the old era of the Call of Duty games and learn from them. The one who doesn't remember its past, don't respect their present, has no place in the future. Call of Duty simply has to go back to its roots and redefine the formula once again. Down below in the comments you can write what would you like Call of Duty to become in the foreseeable future. My idea is to connect multiplayer, campaign and Warzone into one paid experience, separating it from zombies and making each of them a completely different experience that each different studio should work on as a live service game. Campaign should be a solid, cohesive story, driven introduction to the theme of the whole series for the 2 years period. This should include rich characters and elements that represent the idea and what it really means to play Call of Duty. Multiplayer in my eyes should stay fast-paced, arcade-like, based on skill experience, with some limitations to the movement. No jumping off the walls, no jetpacks, nothing like that. It should be a clear alternative to more tactical and strategical approach which Warzone offers. People should be connected together into a fair random lobbies based on their server location, not KD. They should grind their weapons, camos, and all the other customizable items which are created by the real artists, not an AI. Warzone should be a technically well-polished and well-designed experience which offers more strategical approach to a game. Developers should reevaluate its core mechanics such as armor plates and loadouts. My Beloved Zombies should be a standalone title, including survival experience which not only resembles, but in fact is the very same game mode that fans loved in the old era. The modern Zombies gameplay should also be included in that package, providing bigger maps. Let the example be Ashes of the Damned, Terminus and Shattered Veil. Those were the best times of zombie community in a modern day of Call of Duty, and it definitely should be built upon redefining or getting completely rid of the mechanics of rarities of the weapons and armor. DMZ should also be explored as an option for fans who love extraction shooters, crafting and elements of PvP, PvE. Let the Shining Beacon be an Arc Raiders game, which redefined the genre we all should learn from our rivals. This zombie mode should group all the zombie mode stories into one and offer us a well-built multiverse filled with magic, technology and mystery, leading up to creating the best zombie plots separated from the history of the main Call of Duty. Each of these experiences should be filled with activities, challenges and new weekly content added into a game. Recycled content is much welcome, but has to comply with a theme and cannot be treated as a new content, but an additional one. Monetization has to be fair priced and well thought. It has to comply with the theme that current campaign represents. This means collaborations can only work if done in a reasonable way that complies with the current theme standard. There should also be an investment done in the server's capacity and speed to increase the quality of the game. And lastly, last-gen consoles should never be considered to be a part of this experience, as Call of Duty strives for realism of warfare and quality of the gameplay and graphics that last-gen consoles can simply handle. If you agree with me and like the idea for a brand new Call of Duty experience and its strategy, then write down this in the comment, so I know you stayed till the end. Activision, get humble. That's all from me, thanks for tuning in. Till the next time, peace.
Location unknown.
I'm setting off to Dijon.
Be careful, love.
Always feeling danger.
No more.
It's thrilling.